We're just being extra.
All right. So we are back to America. Well, back from, I don't know. What's that word? What was that movie?
Coming back. Oh, Coming to America. Yep.
Yeah. So we're back in America. All right, guys. So if you are listening, I'm so sorry. This is really, every time we take a little break, it gets a little shaky for me, but it's all right. We're here. If you're listening to this podcast, hey, welcome back. I'm Jackie. This is Erica. Okay, let's try this again.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Let's try this.
You didn't say the name. You said our names.
All right. How's that? Let's try it again. Look,
He tried to do some new shit, fucked it all up.
I was like, whoa, where are we going? My brain's like, what road are we going down? Welcome to the Just Extra podcast with Jackie and Erica. I am Jackie.
And I am Erica. And I literally love my co-host so much. I'm dying. I die almost every time we speak. And, it's the good kind of dying, not like the murderous drug through an alley, thrown in a, waste basket. What is this called? A dumpster. Okay, not that kind of dying.
This is how we start in 2025? God damn.
See, I thought about some dumpster stuff, and I'm like, ooh, it's that real dark for me. Okay. Now, let's keep it light. I will go
Happy
dumpster
New
diving.
Year.
Okay. So, would you go dumpster diving?
I would absolutely never go dumpster diving. Why would I do that?
Okay.
Who's dumpster? What part of town?
Look, I was going to tell you. Sephora, Ulta, and they just it's just stuff. They just throw shit out. I'm not going for no food. I'm going for some things. Okay. If it has a little scratch, if it just has a little something, they dump it, and that's why they have security by the garbage, because people will go in there, grab it, and sell it online. All you got to do is wipe it off.
Is there not a company that already does like resale of things? That there's one for vegetables and fruits, like the ugly fruit, or ugly.
I seen them ugly
farm
fruits,
or whatever.
It's Walmart.
For real, truly.
That's why I don't go there really. Like I be in Target for real.
I don't step in there. I mean, granted, there's a Walmart nearby, but I just cannot. I'm only going there if I really need something for the low. That's it. It's a lot's going on. Okay.
Tell us in the comments if you are a Target or a Walmart person. I was gonna say girly, but we have a diverse audience. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Happy New Year. We hope you all had a great holiday season. What is it? New year, new me, New year, new me, but not over here. We're going to keep it just extra over here. All right. And we're going to start with our extra thoughts like we typically do. See how I did that? That's a transition. Okay.
Hey, segue queen.
Thanks. So our last episode, am I my parents? So any extra thoughts from that episode, Jack?
I already said, you know what? Repeating patterns. That's an important thing to note. Am I like my mom? My thing is, okay, I don't want to tell too much of her business, but just low key, she just repeats having the same man. Okay. Honey, I'm going to tell y'all, okay? I've had some interesting breaks, and, my mom I'm trying not to be like my mom, okay? But for some reason, I just keep running into the same guy, and she just keeps taking care of the same guy, I'm trying not to be like that, and I've dedicated my life not to be like that, because she definitely has some things cut out for her. Maybe I should say it. Okay. So while I was I was on vacation, and we'll talk about the vacation more during this episode. I got a call or a text from my mom saying, "Hey, pray for my boyfriend. He just got his foot amputated." And I'm just like, yo, what? And I don't know. I realize I have a nervous thing with me. If I'm like super nervous or anxious about something, I just break out into laughter, because I immediately find it to be hilarious, you know? Maybe it's my body, you know, maybe it's my defense mechanisms, maybe it's something to protect me. Um, but yeah, my mom, I just kind of like, what? How do you go from one diabetic to another, you know? And you know what? That's her journey, that's her path. I just want to say to him, you know, good luck with recovering and everything like that. But honestly, I saw my future when I was with um an ex-partner of mine, and I kind of felt like I was going to go down the same road as she did. And I know she loves taking care of these men in her life, and you know, that particular partner, I wouldn't have mind taking care of him, but I knew my life would just be dedicated to him. And that's just not what I wanted for myself. Call me selfish, but you know, here I am. So that's it for that.
I think, you know, it's like the very cliche example of like, oh, you grew up with an alcoholic father. There were two twin, you know, brothers. One became an alcoholic like their father, and the other one was like literally not. And so you can look at your parents and use them as an example of like, is this what I want to do? Or do I want to make a different decision?
It's not, honey, because I can't. As much as let me get closer to the mic because I do speak a little softer.
You do.
I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be a nurse. I understand through sickness and through health, but I do think there is something to take care of somebody when you're very, very young. A lot of your time is catering to that person, and then sometimes if they don't know how to handle their own personal health, especially mentally, they just take it out on you, and I don't want that for me. I've been in situations where even guys who they weren't sick but they just were down on hard times, they would still take it out on me, like I did something to you, like I made you lose your job, like so look, I just can't. But yeah, that's all I have for that extra thought.
I mean, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I definitely don't let people get into your head. I think you are making the right decisions for you. Like you are thinking logically about like what you want. And so just remember that, okay? You've seen other options. You have the foresight to think about how things could go. So just make sure that you are staying true to you and how you would like to operate and live in your future. All right? Okay, don't let nobody take you from your throne. Okay, your pedestal where you should be. Okay? Yeah, I feel like I see my notes about a story that I wanted to tell, but I already feel like this is going to be a very long episode. And I think that this story could be better placed somewhere else. I feel like, Jackie, you kind of know what I'm talking about.
Girl, you got a lot of stories, so I'm kind of
the second bullet. Ooh. She's like, I didn't even look at your stuff. Okay.
I wasn't trying to, so I can like.
Okay, well, you talked about the "Am I Like Your Mother" part of the episode of our episode, and I'll talk about my catch up.
That's fine. If you like, you know, you can do it.
I can keep it in.
Yeah, but you know how you.
That's what he said.
Lots of time. Ooh.
Well, see, that's what this story is about. Somebody who wants to get back in. Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Lord. Wait a minute. No.
No, it's not him.
I was about to say, like, oh, no.
No, I'm going to call this man the intern. Okay. And so basically Jackie lost her lights.
I got it, y'all.
Okay. So basically, you know, part of this catch up that we'll talk about is a trip that we took. And so this is, you know, a layover back from our trip. And this guy that I used to talk to called the intern because obviously it's from my internship. And we've had a very interesting exchange for like the last week of the year. And I just want to, understand my fault in it. Like, I understand where I went wrong in this situation. I know that no one knows any context yet. But basically, this guy, I reached out to him because he's a peer of mine and I wanted some professional advice, just like I was doing from like a lot of my network, right? You know, whatever. And so he decided to come hit my phone up. And as much as I was like, you know, trying to keep it high level, blah, 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 he had a lot of questions. Anyway, I just want to understand how you don't ensure that the conversation remains platonic. Like, I followed his lead. I promise you, like, I'm looking at the conversation, and anytime that he brought up like, oh, I was thinking about this, or blah, 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 or the conversation would die. He would come back with something like sexual, you know, like.
Ooh, okay.
Can
I ask you a question? I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you want to keep this high? Do you want to keep this high level and then get more into it with our next episode, or like, are you comparing it to the last episode? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm bringing this in because I'm like, ooh, you know, at first I was like, you know, my mom is a hot girl, so like just being like, ooh, hot girl vibes, you know, just like she's always like, yeah, you know, I don't have concrete evidence, but I'm like, my mom she got hoes in different area codes, I feel like. Okay. And I don't have concrete evidence, but I'm like, she might at one point in time, not maybe today, but I think that, you know, 10 years ago, you know, she might have still been someone who could be like, oh, if I go here, I could talk to so-and-so. Or if I go over here, I could talk to so-and-so. Like, I think that she might be like that. Love you, Mom. I mean that from like a kind place. Obviously, I would never like shame you because that's kind of goals. You know, I'm not mad at it, you know, as long as everyone's, you know, single and treating you well and, you know, goodness. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I just am like, I don't like the way that people be talking to me. I felt stupid at some of it because I was trying to understand, like, what are your expectations? Like, where is this going from your perspective? Because I know what my goals are, right? Like, I'm talking to you. He's married, has a child. I'm talking to you for one, professional reasons. Two, if you want to bring up my our sexual past, then sure, I'm gonna chat about it. Let's go down memory lane. It's nothing for me. Obviously, this is where I could have immediately cut it off and have been like very direct and like been like, so what about listen, what about your wife and kids? I definitely brought up the wife and the child. Okay. Yeah, just, I don't know. So, you know, I could have been very much more like, we're not doing that ish, but I did not. I was trying to be like, okay, let's keep it cool. You know, sure, that's what you remember me from and know me for. In a way, it's flattering. In another way, it's not. But yeah, I'm trying to see if your network will be introduced to me. Like, I'm trying to get a part of that. Hello, like, I would like to see what kind of men that have established lives, which is what I feel like is basically like your best quality. Like, you are a together man, college educated, you know, have yourself together, quote unquote, very checklist, you know? And so I'm just like, your network is probably similar. So can you introduce me to your network? That's what I'm trying to get from this exchange, while you keep trying to like flirt. I keep trying to be like, are you bringing anybody? Or where is your cousin from that one time, from that one situation? Or like, oh, who were you talking to about me in that sense? Like, who is a man? Like, throw him that way, you know? And he's at every situation being like, nah, that was a female. Nah, like, I gotta vet you first. Like, I don't know this new version of you. Why do you have to vet me than the new version of me? Like, I'm telling you, I literally responded like, she's even better. Whatever you picture, whatever you knew of me, is better. It's only gotten better. Like, what are you talking about? And so I'm like, where is the hesitancy to introduce me to your friends? Like, I'm trying to understand that ish. And I'm wondering why you're sending me these things from like social media clips that are a little inappropriate. Like, so I literally, like, our last exchange was like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, the thing that he sent me, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? And he's like, take it however you take it. And I'm just like, that's what I'm trying to understand here. I feel like you're talking to me some kind of crazy way, and I'm not. I'm trying to understand why you are talking to me this way. Like, I'm trying to talk to your friends.
Guys, it don't matter. Like, okay. It really
So okay,
depends on
wait.
the guy.
I got a
Okay, go
question
ahead.
though, because I'm confused. So, were you asking him for his friends for a professional setting or something personal? Because I thought that this was supposed to be like for professional purposes.
My email to him was professional. He got the exact same email that I sent to like literally everybody in my network that I was asking about like a professional HR thing from. He texted me, and then we started a text conversation. And, you know, it did start like, what are you working on? Oh my gosh, so sorry about your job. Like, it did start there. And then he asked about my dating. And even then I kept it high level, you know, like, I'm not talking to anybody. He's like, oh, what's going on? And I'm just like, you know, I have a tendency to be with very codependent people. And so like trying to go through that, you know, and like, blah, 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 you know? And he's like, oh, what do you mean by that? And just like talking to him. And I was like, all right, they be broke. Okay. Or all right, you know, and make a joke or whatever. Like, just using this guy, you know, for his appendage. Okay. Since you want to keep asking so many questions about like why things aren't working out, or like what are the people like in Houston, or blah, 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 blah. Right. And so even me saying that, like, I could say that, you know, but listen, I don't know. He just wanted to understand more and more. Like, oh, like, what do you mean? All these guys, and like tell my dating like life and stories. And I don't know. It just transitioned into a sexual conversation. And I'm just like, anytime there was an opportunity to talk about somebody else, you know, I would redirect it there. Like, I would be like, oh yeah, I did, and we did, but also this, you know, or like, I don't know. So that's a very long response to your first question, Hassan.
So more so of like, cause I know you were mentioning like, mentioning that he was like, oh, what about your friends? What about your friends? So it's kind of like, are you asking about his friends for more of a professional setting or a personal thing?
A personal thing, because at that point it was, oh, I be in Houston. Like, I be out here. And I was like, oh, like for fun or for work? And he's like, oh, like for fun. I got friends out here. You know, also my wife is from here. And I was just like, oh yeah, like he'll hook me up with your friends. And then it was like, oh, well, I'm coming for Christmas, and like we can, you know, link. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Are you bringing your friends?
Oh, bringing the friends for like just to fuck or just to date? Like, which one were you looking for?
Well, one, I'm assuming that I don't know what his lodging situation was. But I was hoping that we would be out and about in a space, in a venue, and he would bring some people through. I honestly told him, I was like, if we could go to Wooster's Garden, like that's where I would like to be. Like, I would enjoy the cocktails. It's like quiet enough. It's like seating enough. Like, it's made for conversation. So like, I want to have conversation with these hoes that you have out here in these streets. And he was like, I gotta vet you. And I'm like, why do you gotta vet me? You know me, first and foremost, like, enough. And right. You're married.
But wait, what do you mean? Like, that's why I'm confused.
What are you gonna do with me?
Like, that's why I'm confused. That you like know you well enough, like well enough in a sexual way or well enough in a dating relationship way?
He knows me in a sexual way and maybe, I don't know. I just want to understand, like, what does he need to vet me for? You either think that I'm someone
He's
who
full of shit. He just
exactly.
He just like he just trying to see if he can.
And then he's trying to look at me so confused when I'm trying to tell him about himself, and he's trying to be like, and I'm like, I'm trying to understand why we're having these kinds of conversations in the first place.
You know, I'm telling you, married men act the most single, so that's unfortunate.
Chills.
And Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of guys, especially guys like that, they're not trying to share. Please. Even
They
if they're
never
married,
share. Because
they
even,
don't want to share.
did we name Dr. Seuss? Okay, we named a Dr. Seuss. He also very similarly was like, why would
And
I?
that's why you gotta wait until you see these people before you jump in the bed. Because here's the thing: what if I like your best friend better?
He has a lot of fine friends. The intern, I've known he's had fine friends since we were interning together. Like, I've seen them. I literally remembered the guy's name. I was like, so-and-so. And he, continued the conversation, obviously, because I'm like, I keep trying to bring it back. And I was like, was I right? Was his name so-and-so? He's like, yeah, that's his name. I'm like, I know that's his name because I know that man was fine. Nah, I know that man was fine. Okay, so
they're not trying to
whether
share.
it's, I know they're not trying to share. It's so stupid. And you had nice things to say about me. So you would just give the man the nice things.
So, okay, what nice things for what? Like to date them or just to have sex with them?
At least sexually, at least to me, I'm okay if that is my entry point in, okay? Because plenty of hoes have become housewives regardless of the saying, okay?
But why would the guy want to, if you just had sex with my friend, why would I want to then date you? Like, I'll have sex with you, but I wouldn't
I don't see that as a barrier. Like, I don't see that
you
necessarily as like
but other people may see it.
They
other
might.
guys may see it.
Yeah, especially guys of a particular caliber. They don't want to know, like, you fucked my friend. Like, I feel like, and also after a certain age too. I do feel like in college or like early 20s, it's very like floaty, very like, okay.
That's when we were doing it. I have not had sex with this man since I was like 22 years old. So
yeah,
what are we talking about? Like, I'm just like, yeah. Okay, sure. We did whatever. Introduce me to your friends. We're in a new space. We're a whole decade removed. Like, can I have at them? And why are you a barrier? Also, just, yeah. Anyway, so that was
yeah. And don't mind me. Somebody sound like they just dropped a freaking dumbbell upstairs. I'm like, what the freak?
It definitely sounded like a tennis ball was bouncing or something.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's okay.
Nah.
So yeah, that's my reflection there. And I know a lot of people are looking for a brokey update. Ain't no update.
Good.
Ain't no update. So I'm fine.
Praise the Lord. Oh my goodness.
And ain't no update.
So.
I'm welcoming in new energy into 2025.
I hope it's the right energy. I know you already were like, look, what do you hold that? But just like, I need you to look at what you really want out of love,
Yeah.
And go get that shit, girl. Like, you can have whatever you like. More
intentional. Yeah, I'm with you. I need new vibrators. So we need to partner with some vibration companies, vibrator, sex toy companies, okay, so that they can sponsor the podcast and I can get my rocks off, because there's more stories. I got more stories, okay? There might be some long distance situations, okay? Let's keep going. All right, so this is going to bring us to our catch up. Wow. Okay, so.
Wow. Actually, you know what? I made a mistake. I should have been like, you know what?
You shouldn't have let me tell me. Yeah. Exactly. That's why I told you.
But I also said, like, the time. You're looking at the time.
Y'all asked me more questions. I told the story and y'all had follow-ups.
That was a sign.
Okay.
My bad.
He edited this ish. Anyway, so that brings us to the catch up. Okay. And as Jackie tried to elegantly, start us eloquently, I don't know what I'm talking about neither. So, we back in America, hoes. Okay. As Jackie said, we came back from Ghana. Okay. We were in Africa. We touched the motherland. Have you?
You haven't.
Okay, so we're better than you. And we went to Ghana, and we're going to talk about our whole little trippity trip. Tell the people why we went, Jacqueline, because I went because I know you.
No, so we went because our friends Diane and Selassie, they are engaged, and this was, and how do I say this? Because we have a lot to discuss, okay? But let me just keep it brief as far as the purpose goes. We went for Diane and Selassie. They are engaged. Selassie is from Ghana, so we went to Ghana for this celebration. We're going to say the word celebration because it is a celebration. Now, what was the ceremony? That was something we were very confused about, okay? Can I say, okay? Now,
what did you tell people? It's okay.
I said I was going to go for an engagement ceremony for, my friends. This is what I'm going to go for. But it was like a wedding. So I'm like, wait, what's going on here? So I was confused because I'm like, is this an engagement ceremony or is this a wedding? So on the invitation, go ahead, Erica. You saw the invitation. It said wedding.
Yeah,
ceremony.
no, literally, every communication prior, everything was saying like engagement, 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 engagement. Okay. But then when we got the actual itinerary of like what this trip was going to look like, which amen, because a girl was looking to plan her outfit and I was like waiting on this hoe. Like, are we outside or are we like, what are we doing?
Very
anyway,
happy for the. I was happy.
It was great. Okay. Shout out. And so we got that, but on it said wedding. And that was the first time I saw it say wedding. Okay. So we're like 2 weeks out now, a week out, 2 weeks, whenever we officially got the itinerary. And I'm like, oh, so what's going on? And I never got an answer until we literally walked up into that hoe.
It was beautiful. Let me just say, okay, if that was the ceremony, but it turns, okay. So it's a Ghanaian wedding ceremony. It was treated as such. Even though we went in thinking it was just an engagement ceremony where they were doing something different. Baby, they had the whole they had it set out, okay? We had a reception, we had a cake, we had speeches, okay? It was a wedding ceremony. And
pastors,
many pastors.
Many.
And gifts and so many things. Money. Look, it was a celebration. And I was very happy to be a part of it. Very happy to witness it. But yeah, don't come and look at me crazy when I'm like, oh, this a wedding. I said, oh, this a wedding. And then they turn around, we told you. I'm like, no, you didn't. You said it was an engagement ceremony. Okay. So overall, I'm calling it the Ghanaian wedding ceremony because many of Selassie's people can't come to America or not able to. So this is their wedding. And I felt like it was so beautiful. It was so pretty. Like I'm looking forward to seeing this American ceremony because they already said, hey, we got to step it up because they really set this thing out.
Do you think I'm getting an invite?
I haven't gotten an invitation either, so we'll see, honey.
I just know, yeah, again, I love Diane. I love Selassie. I think they're so cute together. I've appreciated the many, the several different opportunities that I've gotten to intermingle with them. And they've seen, we've seen to grow closer, in our relationship. And it's beautiful. But I'm also just very maybe realistic and also just nobody likes me. And so I just think that I know they do. I know that they like me, but at the same time, weddings are expensive and sometimes it's not everybody can go. So I'm just aware, okay, that it would be nice. I love the celebration, everybody, I love I love it. But I understand if I can't go. So I really appreciated being a part of, this celebration, because some people who are related to me, I didn't get to go. So, I'd be laughing. I got to go to another a Black country in December.
Oh, go ahead, girl. Throw that shade. You're allowed to.
Listen, it's something I can talk about. She could talk about it for the rest of our lives. And we got to stand by our decisions.
That is
stand by
quite
it.
Wild.
Okay.
Very wild.
Anyway, first sister. It's okay. Anyway, so
There you go.
thank you, Diana Selassie, for letting me attend your nuptials. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was confused. Great. I didn't know what it was, but I was there for a good time. I said, tell me to go to Africa. Tell me to go to Ghana. Tell me to go to Africa. The first statement, I am going. Y'all are going. There's good, responsible, fun people that I can go and be with. I'm going. What? I'm going. And I didn't pay for lodging? I'm going.
First off, shout out to his family because they really did a lot. We didn't even have to. Honestly, if we didn't want to go eat outside, we didn't have to eat outside. They made sure we had a place to sleep. They made sure we had transportation. They made sure we had food. That's majority of the trip right there. That's the biggest cost. I mean, outside of the flight. The flight itself, yikes. But that's not the worst I've paid, I don't think.
No, it's the worst I think I've paid.
Yeah? Okay.
Mm-hmm. This one, and then like Thailand and Hawaii are similar.
Yeah, that's up there. Yeah, you're really going to be waiting a while. But yeah, ultimately the hospitality was outstanding. I personally don't see myself getting that type of hospitality anywhere else
literally
in life. So, I was just enjoying it and I was just very thankful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, cool. So how would you rate the trip overall on a scale of 1 to 10?
Okay. The whole trip or just
yes.
Okay, because I have some things to talk about.
What's different? Tell me what's the difference.
Well, I also have to talk about my journey getting to Ghana.
Oh, okay.
And then,
okay, well,
interesting things. But
sure, give me the whole trip and then the specific part in Ghana. I want your whole vacation. PTO.
Okay, PTO. My whole 10 days of PTO that I gave out. I'm gonna give it an 7.9 because it was close to a solid 8 for me. But the thing I'll have to take away, there were some things out of my control, but I was just like, hey, what are we doing? Okay. But I'll get into that when I get into, my recapping of the trip. What about you?
I think I'm going to rate it a 7. I'm going to rate it a 7. It was a good trip. Obviously, room for some improvement, but I really can't knock it because, again, I didn't pay for the things that probably could have improved just a little. You know what I'm saying? And, had some unfortunate scenarios, but, we picked it right back up and we'll talk about that later too. And, yeah, we'll talk about some other things. Got a little bored of the food, but, it wasn't bad food. It was just the same food. Yeah. 7 overall rating.
All right. Sounds good.
So, okay, now we're getting into more specifics. Ghana specifically, like as you think about like the country, like physically, how did it look to you? What was the culture like? Like we could talk about lodging, food, men.
What are you at though? Look, let me stop. All right. Let me talk about physical environment itself. Beautiful. Like so many palm trees. Like it's just so beautiful. I'm like, dang, where am I? I'm like, where am I at? This is Africa? This is nice. Okay. I can see myself definitely going back because overall the weather is nice. The environment was great. I would say what I wasn't a fan of was the traffic. That's the thing with me. I could not go out, getting in the cars and stuff. It was just a lot for me. My anxiety was boosted up because what's the traffic lights? Okay. I ain't seen not one. Okay. But overall, when we're at the beaches were so clean. The water looked nice. Everything was just good. Like overall, I enjoyed the physical environment. Except for the traffic, honey. I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah. I didn't like, the unair conditioned transportation, but I don't really have anything about
yeah,
I don't have nothing really to say about like the traffic itself. Like it was, I don't think I really got an opportunity to sit in the front and really see.
And that's why I would not sit in the front. Okay,
I was.
It's very in and out. You gotta get it. You have to. If you see an opening, you gotta take it. And
there were no lanes in a lot of the different parts of town. Some of the dirt roads were literal dirt roads and didn't have lanes, and people were taking advantage of them. And like there were other parts of town, like closer to like the Liberation Center or whatever that square was. There was roads. There was, street lights. There were lanes, paved roads, that was obviously the nicer part of town, which to me, obviously, yes, we were in a third world country. Okay, there were parts of the country that were nice, but there were parts of the country that I was like, oh, people live in there? That is a house. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Why are they climbing the dump? The landfill. You know what I'm saying? The craziest part to me was we went to luxury beach resort, and that was like the worst part of town. But the beach resort was called Luxury Beach Resort. Now, was it super luxurious? No, that's my whole part about like Africa. Like I would have upgraded a lot from like a luxury perspective. You definitely, there were things that were not enjoyable. But like that was like, I started to feel bad, and I was like, wow, our outfits are doing a lot. Okay. And these people have literally nothing as we are approaching this like beach resort. Like that to me was like the big, I need to read more so I have a better vocabulary as well. But like that to me was like the bottom of the spectrum of like, oh, third world country. Like as we were going down that road, like that road was awful. So many
gap in things. You can see that the money is definitely allocated differently. There's no like safety net like America would have where, okay, even if you didn't make anything, we're going to still put money into the infrastructure of the city. We're going to have basic like housing, food for people, just to upkeep things. You could tell there's like, there's a gap there. I really enjoyed, like, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, that's why they're asking, African Americans to come to Ghana and help, get the economy going and doing what needs to go. Listen, we haven't even gotten to some pieces, but there's some people who want me there. Notice I said people.
People.
So
multiple, honey.
Anyway.
Honestly, I look, it's just so many opportunities. Like, say if I had a bunch of money and I was just like, you know what, baby, I know exactly what y'all need right here. I could do this, I could do that. It's just my wheels were turning. So who knows? Maybe God will bless me one day so I can just go ahead and build me a nice little house and figure it out. Okay. Like,
maybe.
Go build you a hut.
Hassan. Put yourself on mute. Okay.
Okay.
On mute. Okay.
Now let's talk about like our actual like. I mean, there were beautiful parts too. I know we spent a lot of time talking about like being a third world country, but maybe we'll talk about some of the beautiful parts when you think about like your favorite and least favorite like activities. Or not. I don't know. Here's your moment.
Okay, let me talk about really quick. Food was great. Oh, first off, Cheeto, just delicious. I need to make it myself. I don't know. That was so good. I've had it multiple places.
What was your favorite?
The hot sauce. The green hot sauce. The green pepper sauce. Yeah. Okay? That was my shit. And
of course, it's a sauce that's your favorite.
I love sauces. I love sauces. I'm such a hoe. Anyway, but I love sauces. And honestly, the chicken was good. The food at the hotel I stayed at, let me tell you, the lodging that I was provided, there was a bar there. And they also had like a kitchen in the back. Their jollof rice and chicken is so good. And then the egg rolls were good. The sauce was good. I had a good time. I thoroughly, yeah. I'm with y'all. This was good. I actually got to meet the owner. He was pretty nice. I said, thank you for the accommodations. This is great.
Yeah, I was jealous that y'all had food at your hotel. I mean, to me, that gets me into the lodging situation. Again, grateful. Didn't pay. Amazing. Phenomenal. Actually, it was about as good as I thought it was going to be. Y'all were scaring me, making me think that it was going to be like way worse, you know, like maybe some of like the places that we went to that didn't have like plumbing and like, I don't know what the shower I thought was going to look like. Like, I mean, I thought it was going to be worse the more that y'all were like, make sure you bring a fan and a light and a night light and a lamp and a flashlight and everything. And I was like, where are we going? And so, you know, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. All right. I could put my head down. This is going to be okay. You know, oh, this is a single room. I'm going to be by myself. Plot twist wasn't. And then plot twist again, definitely got my room back. But I was like, I could do this. Then I saw your room and I was like, oh, well, it looks nicer. But then you also had your power go out like 2 or 3 times. And I didn't have to be disgustingly hot in the middle of the night. So again,
that was wow. That was a hard, and they try to gaslight us like, oh, just turn it back on. No, it was off. You turned it off. Okay. So they have it where sometimes the electricity will go out. So this is just our experience. Like, it'll go out. It'll be off for a small amount of time where you felt the difference, but it wasn't that bad. But then one night was so bad, me and Erlene had to sleep at the front of the bed just so the air could get to us because, like, baby, I can't keep fanning myself in this bed, okay? I am melting. I was damn near naked.
Sorry. Yeah.
It was hot.
Yeah. Yeah. See, so I was like, yeah, y'all had food. Y'all had, you know, it was a nicer space, but like, I was like, you know what? I'm okay. We had our breakfast.
Got there too. That one time.
It did go out. Yeah. I was like, oh, well, I'm only here so we can go to our next destination, really. But I'm glad that, I mean, it came back in like 5-10 minutes time, you know, it wasn't that long. But yeah, so, you know, the lodging was all right. So just manage your expectations. But I have noticed that depending on, again, where you are in town, like you could see that things like varied. Like I'd be like, what's that over there? Maybe I would have picked to stay over there if I was like by myself or whatever, you know? I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? I don't know how much these things cost.
Next time I go, I definitely want to do the resort. Like they have several different resorts. I definitely want to go ahead and do it because this seems like, all right, this is nice.
Because I like the bartender at the one Playa. It was not Playa because we were not speaking Spanish.
I thought that was called Luxury. I thought that was the Luxury.
No. That was definitely a beach. That was, no. The Luxury Beach Resort is where we went and had like the cocktails in the sand with the whole big group and did yoga and stretched. Like, that is that. We went to like.
It was called something else. Okay. Oh, it was called Luxury Beach Resort. You're right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The resort, whatever resort we went to, was like a beach club or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, Michael Friday. Okay. He made a good gin that was like probably like at the best rate that I got compared to like nightlife costs for drinks.
Before we get into it, can I talk about the SETI? Okay. I was a rich bitch. Okay. A rich bitch. Okay. I need to go back and spend again. That's fine. I loved it. Okay. First off, I get a shot for 20 cents. I can get a whole
Now let's talk about that shot though.
Okay. Now at the Luxury Beach Resort, that gave me a headache. But the one at the bar and everywhere else was fine. Like I was good. Okay, let me pull out my converter, y'all. Because y'all are not gonna believe me when I tell y'all I was had a good time.
15 SETIs is $1.
Okay. Now look, I ordered jollof rice chicken and I had a drink. They was like, 100 SETI. $6. I was like, you can have all my money.
Baller.
It was funny though, right?
No, truly.
I was doing the most, and I'll talk about it a little bit more, but I definitely was just like...
I'll talk about it more. I don't want to introduce a story at this point in time, but it could make a good transition. But we won't.
Okay, but just
know.
No, just know. I was
just
balling,
know.
okay? Okay, I was balling. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, what was disappointing though was that we had the same kind of food a lot, you know? Like I was so excited after we went like after one of the events where we got like the soup, like the light goat soup, and that was the first time that we tried like the banku. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
And so that although I didn't like it, I was like, oh, new options. Because it was very much so jollof rice, fried rice,
no matter what,
and
they said
fish
you don't eat
or chicken.
Eat regardless. That's what I'm saying. If you did not want to eat, they were like, well, we got, you know how we say, oh, well, we got something at home. You feel
we
it
got food in the
whatever.
fridge.
Look, we got food at home. We got McDonald's at home. Look, you can have whatever you. Look, we got
you can get that ramen. Home. That ramen noodles is in the pantry for you. Okay. Yeah. No, it's very much so a staple. But I was like over it by like the third day. I'm like, you eat rice. It's like I don't want any more rice. Like I was with it. So when like the light soup got introduced. That was my favorite thing the whole trip. I could have ate that again. Okay. When I got an opportunity to have some goat, you know, or like some stew, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, yes, so excited. Variation, like out and about. Yeah. And then what else? The men. Ain't nothing really to say about most of them.
You know, we left too early. That's what happened because all the niggas came at the end.
But to Erlene's point, she's like the natives though. Like they weren't nothing to look at, which is sad. Like she wanted more even like native people to look at. Like why we got to wait till everybody comes from everywhere to have like people to look at, to have some eye candy. I was like, I mean, fair, good point, but there wasn't even none of them, like no men around. Like if you weren't working there, I'm like, wasn't nobody there. So like warning to everybody. Interesting.
The zipline guy was cute to me. And then also
there goes
the guy that was at there was a guy at the art center that was cute, but he was just doing too much from me. Because we actually ran into each other at a hookah lounge, again, and that was kind of scary because I was just like, well, damn, I thought you was just over there. Whatever. But those were my two encounters. I was just like, oh, you're cute. I could do that.
My encounters are a part of like a later story.
All right, let's
in a future
on.
catch up. So
okay.
All right, quickly, top 2 favorite activities. And then go ahead.
I love the nature walk. That was so much fun. The slave castle was very good too. I don't know why, but I felt it was just this dark, heavy feeling there going to the slave castle. It was like a heaviness. The air just wasn't fresh, you know? And when you sat in there, I just felt like some weight on me that I kind of needed to I was happy to be there, but at the same time I was happy to leave because I felt, who knows, y'all, my people was just like, I was right. Hey, who's that? Like, you know, because I mean, taking my DNA test or my sister taking the DNA test, we share the same parents. You know, we have some Ghana. We have Ghana, Sierra Leone. We have a bunch of different African countries, but Ghana was 16%. So that's why I was just like, okay, we could do that. But something in there is just like, rubbing my shoulder. It's like, get out. Like, oh, shit. Like, it was hot in there, too. I was just like, whoo, child. I don't know which one of my ancestors was in there, but they was just like, baby, we got to get out, okay? We got to go. But
I appreciated it as well. I don't know if I felt like the same kind of spiritual like feelings, you know, like if I felt people, but I just like appreciated like the history and, you know, just a reminder of the resilience. You know, I never really forgot it, but yeah, I appreciated the Elmina Castle, I think. So that would definitely be a top thing for me. It's the only thing I got a souvenir from. Got a t-shirt.
I have plenty of souvenirs. I would love to.
Okay, that's because I can't pack.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I would say that's one. And then I liked the zip lining. As much as I was like, while it was happening, I was like,
girl,
I'm nervous. Like we went with the adventure course. Okay, there was a family course and an adventure course or fit course.
The family course.
I was still excited that I did the fit course. Like I'm just like, we did it. We made it through. Like I was scared on like a part, and then I was like, oh, I really had to use some arm muscles that I don't have on another. But like, I like adventures. I like conquering things. I love smack talking, competition, I love all of those things. So I'm just like, yeah, I just wish that it was more scenic. Like, I just wish that it wasn't.
Oh, you didn't think so?
Just while we were zip lining, you know? Because, when we first got there, you could look out, you could see all the things, and that's beautiful. But, like, at least when I was in Hawaii, it was like while you were going down, like, we had longer lines. And so, like, it would, you started small, but you would build your way up. But I just was like, I'd be like, oh, there's so much, like, jungle and lush and greenery around me. Like, I had more space. Like in Africa, there was a lot. It was a lot of greenery, but I guess I was just like, where's the big ta-da? Like in Hawaii, there was a waterfall that we like zip line past. And I was just expecting something like, here's this big scenic like mountain that you're going to see, like we came all the way up here. We could have did this on the literal ground. You know what I'm saying? And y'all could have just put some things a little higher up, but on the ground. Why do we have to take this bus up this mountain that barely made it? You know what I'm saying?
Child, they was struggling with that bus. I was like, are we going to go home? Are we going to be able to get home?
I was like, are we walking home or is this bus going to be able to turn around?
They looked like they was going to come. Ooh, I was like.
R.I.P. to that driver already. I was like, that gave me anxiety. I can't watch that bus try and make its way and do a 16-point turn to try and turn around. That was crazy.
Nah, that was wild. So I got injured during the zip line, didn't like that too much. And that was literally our second little stage. And I was just like, what?
We're at the beginning.
And so, mind you, my leg still hurts. I mean, it's better. But yeah, my leg, I did the course, hit my leg, didn't realize like, damn, how hard did I hit my leg? Because it started swelling. And I was just like, damn. I actually probably need to get an x-ray, but it does feel better though. I don't know. We'll see.
Dang, girl. Well, I'm sorry that you're in pain. I had
to finish it. So literally, imagine me.
I'm glad you made it.
All of that. My leg was hurting. Like, it was just like, yo, especially with the Mario, like Super Mario one. I was like, my leg is gonna fucking snap off. But it's fine. But it's fine. I just had to just go ahead and do it and finish it. And I'm very proud of myself that I did it. But would I do it again?
You did great.
No. Well, I could skip it. If I could skip a couple of little obstacles, I would. Okay. The rest was fine. I just couldn't.
But aren't you just like proud of yourself?
Yeah, but I'm always proud of myself sometimes. But, just that. There were moments where I had to take a breath, like me. That's why I really appreciate Diane and Selassie for like sticking with me and making sure I was getting through all of it because Diane was like, I can't leave until Jackie gets to this platform. And so I was like, because I was like, I don't know, y'all, we might need to turn around. Diane was like, if you turn around, I'll turn around. And we were just like, but we were already in there. So we just finished it.
Y'all were definitely a bit behind because I was like, where'd the second part of our group go? We lost y'all. But I was laughing because I'm like, I know I peer pressured everybody to do this course because I was the only one who walked over to that fit side. Like, you came right after that. I was like, oh my God, this is so great. And then the guys showed up and I was like, And so the whole time that we were zip lining, they were like, you the one who has us out here doing this. I was like, I know y'all didn't want to look weak. Okay, I understand.
Like, we would have been like everybody else. We would look, it was cool. But it was an adventure. I'm very happy I did it. It was a challenge, but hey, that's what life's about. Taking on challenges.
I know we skipped our thoughts on like the wedding or any other attendees. Do you want to talk about anything like that, or
I don't even
are
remember
they?
all the attendees, honestly.
You don't remember? What's his name? Uncle Frank.
Oh, Uncle Freddie. Yeah, that's my man.
Uncle Freddie.
Yeah. Okay, so just speaking on the event itself, I already said, hey, they set that shit out. Like, it was beautiful. I don't know, go to Erica's page. She has been posting and she's been showing stuff. It's just, it was a beautiful event. I loved it. It was so well put together. I was impressed. I was very impressed. It was really pretty.
I love when people can incorporate like culture into a ceremony. I was like, what's this? What's that mean? What are the circles on their backs? Like arms? Like, what is all that? What's the dancing? Like, what's everything? Oh, okay. They love to bring in like people, like their family, a very family oriented like ceremony. Like, what does it mean when you're like sitting down? Like, why you got to seat your wife? Like, I appreciate the other components that are just like, oh, this is connected to your culture. I can appreciate ceremonies that are like interesting and, so it was a very beautiful ceremony. All the outfit changes were on point. Cracking up at Arlene, literally can't breathe. I'm so sorry for you.
Oh my gosh. The fact she almost passed out was crying.
I know that.
Whoa.
I was like, I'm so sorry.
It was hot. I was hot. I know you was
She
hot.
didn't want to take no pictures. I was like, you don't want nothing, no photos with me? Okay.
She was like, I'll try this look.
She's like, I can't be here.
Look. They're gonna wear those outfits again for their American ceremony. So
good.
I'm excited to see what changes they make to the outfit, if they do make any changes.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I thought it was good. I'm glad that it didn't like go all night. Like I was ready, like I was like, I'm glad like we were leaving when we were leaving,
I got
even
sick,
though y'all could stay.
Can I say, funny story, very quick. My stomach was like, it's been a couple days. I've had that jollof rice, that chicken, that fish for a couple of days, and the hot sauce. And, the hot sauce was good going in, right? But coming out, that's the thing. All right. So I'm at the wedding, right? I'm like, all right, we chilling. And I'm like, my stomach kind of bubbling. Oh my gosh, I got a shit. Why they didn't have any, like, I was informed there were no toilets that were open to the public other than the rooms that they rented. So if I knew that there were open other toilets, I would have gladly went over there. I went into Diane's room, had to go to the bathroom. I was like, they ain't had no toilet tissue. I like, oh Lord, I had to do something else that I am not proud of, but whatever.
What'd you do?
I'm clean though. Don't worry about it. And then I came back and I'm like, damn.
Wait a minute. No, we gotta figure this out.
No, you're not. Okay, going back. Let me finish the story. So then I'm like, all right, I'm back, y'all. Let's party. I was feeling good. Okay, I'm dancing and stuff.
You can't wait. You was dancing after you just
She messed up something in that room.
Yeah. It's you heard of puke and rally, shit and rally. Okay, let's go. Mm-hmm. So we back in here. I'm like, okay, they doing the dances, they doing everything. I'm having a good time. I'm like getting my little fan on. And then I was just like, ooh. And then somebody handed me cake. And I was just like, ooh, a piece of cake. I had 1-2 bites of that cake. My son was like, bitch, I told you. I was like, oh my God. So I'm running. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go. I can't stay here. And then the employee was like, ma'am, you know what? Here, come use our bathroom. And I was just like, I was out in that bathroom too. It was small, ain't no air conditioner. I'm over here fanning myself with the electronic fan, child. Ooh, taking a shit. I had to take my little panties off and put them in my little purse because I was done with, okay? I was not putting those back on. Because I got a thong on, so what the fuck I look like putting a thong back on after I shit it like several times. So let me save these drawers and put them in my pocket and we gonna come back later because you're not about to have me out here with some fucked up ass panties. I might need them for later, okay? But anyway, I don't know why it happened during the ceremony, during the whole event. That was annoying to me. But yeah, afterwards it was cool. Dance with the uncle. Uncle was really getting the party started. I was like, I know that's right. You better do that. And yeah, just had a good time. The DJ, he did his thing. He did his motherfucking thing to MC.
Didn't know a single song.
Look, I was trying to get the dances. Okay, the little kids,
Y'all
they knew what
were.
to do.
They all
But
did.
yeah, they over here doing that. They was picking it up,
I
bringing
was
it
like,
back
y'all better
down.
get it.
Pick it up and bring it back
I
down.
was like, yeah, get it.
Okay, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was, yeah, gorgeous. Yeah. I was like, maybe we shouldn't talk about people.
What would you like to talk about?
I would like to talk about, I don't know. I don't want to talk about anybody.
I mean, are you talking about the people at the place or just like somebody in general? Because I wanted to say a whole bunch of stuff like that was probably going to be racist. Like I wanted to go off first off about the lights going on and off. I thought Akon took care of that. Well, like what happened?
Where's Akon from? I don't think he's from Ghana.
I think he posted. Yeah, I think he like wasn't it Africa or something like that. One of them.
But that's Africa is a continent, boo. Okay.
I didn't know which one he did. I thought he was over there.
Let me check. No, I'm not gonna check. You gotta do that. Okay. You gotta do your facts. Okay. Nah, yeah, that shit was going off. So I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, that was definitely a test.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about what he promised.
But they gave us flashlights though. They gave us flashlights. They gave us. Ooh, can we have like a really quick what you need if you're going to the country of Africa in general? You definitely need to bring your wet wipes, okay? Because sometimes you may not get access to a damn faucet, okay? You need
the water is not running, so not only do you need like Cottonelle or whatever brand of like flushable wipes for your like vagine or your penis and your butthole, but you also need sanitization wipes like Lysol, Clorox, like is wet wipes like a pure like whatever brand that has some disinfectant, some hand sanitizer, because not only will you not have some toilet tissue, you will probably also not have running water in general. So just don't also think about like how they're preparing your food when you're at that specific establishment.
Wait, why did they tell us like after I ate my damn fish, after I ate all of my fish at these little resorts, they like, oh yeah, we don't order the fish because they be rinsing it off in the ocean. I'm like, bitch, why you telling me this now?
They have to be rinsing everything off in the ocean. Like, what do you think they're doing? Like, not rinsing the chicken either? Like, I mean, I was hoping that they had like one sink in the kitchen that operated. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I guess not.
At least, because I'm like, how do they wash their? Are they using the same bathroom as we are using?
Baby, you know, I don't know. Okay, but the fish was still good. I love the fish.
Listen, the fish every time ate, and that's probably because it had all that seasoning.
Okay. I loved it. I had a good time. Okay.
Especially at the luxury beach resort.
Don't tell me about that's the luxury beach resort had the best fish, in my opinion. It was seasoned very well. But then, okay, let's talk about when we were going out. Okay. So we had many days where we were just going out and having some nightlife. You know, we left right before the start of Detty December when everybody came for all of the festivals and all that stuff that I missed. But we still went out and we had a good time. What were your favorite places to go out? What were your
honestly, the one that ended up, you know, what was the first place that we kind of went to? Not Tunnel Lounge, but like where we all ordered the bottle the first time. What was that called? Do we remember? But whatever, where we have all the footage from, even that we were all seated. Like we were actually able to smoke in there. Like where we had the teriyaki wings. Like I enjoyed because it was like a mix of music. I was like, ooh, American and Afro beats and like a place to sit. And I had the best time in that establishment. I think that was probably my favorite place that we went out at. And then I did enjoy the luxury beach resort. People weren't there, but I enjoyed my time at the beach with y'all. We were just acting up, having a good time. Like I enjoyed that. We saw that guy from U of I at that other place. I think that place had potential. I wouldn't necessarily say that I had like the best time. But it had potential.
Great espresso martinis over there. That was called Alley Bar. That was a
Alley
vibe.
bar.
I liked
Mhm.
it. I liked the drinks. The drinks were very good there. The music was decent too. I was having a good time. Yeah, I really did like Tunnel Lounge. That was really good. First off, I was like, where are we at? Because y'all changed the location so many times of where we were going, but we ended up at Tunnel Lounge. We had a good time there. Okay. So, did you want to talk about the situation when you were at Tunnel Lounge, or what would you
I
like to? What would you like
not
to?
Tunnel Lounge, but the other place.
Oh, okay.
Whatever
What?
that's called,
The place with
Moonlight,
the
Moon
food.
something. Place with the food. Yeah, I mean, I hate being in my current position of like unemployed from the perspective of like you have no money. And so yeah, this was like my first time just being in a weird position like that. I've done a lot of group situations before, and I should understand how they go. And I don't know. I guess long story short, I ended up paying for things that I didn't participate in. And there was someone who got upset with me about my delivery of my feelings. And so that was a very interesting experience for me because, she was very much so like, I just want you to know that I don't know you.
She said,
Like,
hey.
you're saying all these things about who you are and how you are, but I don't know you. It was out of character from like the 2 days that I've gotten to know you, the 3 days it had been. But I don't know you just because we had 3 days. So I appreciate your apology, but I just don't want people talking to me like that. And I just was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I was doing the most with her. I respect how she perceived it and received it. Whatever, all of it, whatever. We already had our own conversation about it. But I was just like, this is so interesting because I just felt like not a single person understood where I was coming from. I'm like, y'all ordered 2 bottles of tequila, 2 hookahs that I got 1 puff of. I didn't go back to the hookah. Y'all had food. I didn't even know y'all were ordering food. So then I ordered some. So I didn't know my food was on this specific bill because we hadn't even gotten it yet. So when I'm being asked to put on for a tab that I'm just like, oh, I already paid for my own gin. Y'all already saw me. This was my cup. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being asked to split with everybody else. I'm like, this is crazy. How many shots did y'all have? Like, I just was like, and it also isn't that hard to do. Like, just divide it by 1 less person. Like, just take me out of the equation. Now, if my wings were on there, perfect. We could have that conversation. It was 100 setties. Jackie and I were going to split that, and then it got to a point where it was like, oh, Erica, you're going to pay 600 setties when everyone else is paying like $840 or $850 or something like that. So I paid $40 for 6 chicken wings, 8 maybe chicken wings.
You said,
and that's why you gave them to me. You were like, I think you had 1 and you were like, you could have the rest. Because I'm like, where do you pay for it? Where in the United States of America do you pay $40 for something? And I just was like, I'm trying to understand because I didn't have anything. I did not have anything that the group had until, our wings came when they came. And I just was like, supposed to split that with you. So that should have been my 50 setties plus tax or tip. So maybe 100 setties. Why did I end up spending 6 times the amount of money that I thought that I was going to spend on things that I didn't participate in? So I was just expressing that. And again, nobody except for you allowing me to have these wings said, I feel you, Erica. Every single person was like, you're in a group. You're in a group. And I just was like, I don't know. I feel like there are moments where I would be like, that person didn't have any drinks tonight. Like, they didn't have any drinks, have them pay less, blah, 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 which technically I paid less. I paid $600 compared to y'all's like $850. But I'm just like, that's not what I meant by less. You know, like, I don't know. It just doesn't equal to me. And so I just had to take that, okay, because I was like, you know what, whatever. I didn't pay for lodging. I didn't pay for the weed. I didn't pay for some of this wine and the vodka, whatever that we had access to, you know, like at the Airbnb and stuff. Like there were moments that I'm like, okay, I'm putting on this bill, but I'm not trying to think about this specific bill. Like, let me say that this is money that's being allocated for the other things that I am enjoying that I have not paid for. So that's what made me feel better. But I just really was like also feeling a way of like, I'm usually not this like calculated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm usually just like, oh, we go and divide it. It's going to be what it is. Like, you know, sometimes I order the more expensive thing and I'm like, thanks, y'all, you know, or sometimes like I just understand like, oh, yeah, we're just going to split this, or, you know, we're making up for whatever. It's not that deep, but I'm also just like, I don't know when I'm getting like a job. And so, you know, although it's only $40, I'd like to keep it for me, especially because I didn't benefit from this, you know? So, yeah, I was mostly hurt because I was like, other people don't know this about me, that I'm like usually good in group settings. Like, that is something that people have like this. I wasn't aware. And so I appreciated you, Jackie, for being there to help me, console me through my moment of just like, these hoes are going to hate me because, you know, everyone's, you know, was asking me if I was okay. Like that, are you okay? And I'm just like, was I really yelling at people? I talk passionately, but was I really, did I yell at somebody for real? Like the fact that was information that I was not expecting to come this direction. Like that was information that I was like, someone had an issue with like the way that I was communicating to them, and like has this whole perception of who I am that is not how I would like people to see me and not how I think of myself. And I don't think the people who know me think of me that way, but like, this is how you currently feel. And yeah, I also was just like, it was great timing because that was the first night that we didn't share room. Like I had literally just helped her move out before we went out. Like, I was like, what would we have done if we were literally sleeping in the same bed that night? I don't know. But yeah, that was my like, of the whole trip. You know, like I was just like, I feel like a broke hoe, and these hoes are looking at me like I'm a broke hoe and selfish and rude and blamey and whatever else. And I'm trying to make that clear. I want you to know that, like, yes, I brought up the fact that, like, you asked for this hookah, but I'm not blaming you for the hookah. Even Jackie wanted a tip, but ended up having a whole other hookah that was not necessary at the table. And, like, I'm not saying anything like, I'm not saying I blame you for this. I really just thought, I was like, y'all are going to pay for that. You know, but okay. Oh, now I'm going to pay for it. But I'm, again, not like it's any one specific person's fault. Enjoy your hookah. Have a great time. I want everyone to have a great time. I just also whatever. We were in a group. Comment below if you had this experience in groups. Okay. Do you feel like I'm valid in my perspective? Or do you think that there should have been, you know, just an even split all the way through? I ended up paying exactly what y'all paid because my drink was $275. So my $600 plus the $275 is exactly what y'all paid in the $800s.
$275. Let me see.
Yeah, it was a very expensive gin on top of that.
Y'all trying to act like Vegas.
It was a double. But I got a double from Michael Friday, and that was $105. So the up tax in that club was crazy. Yeah, well, I also think they wouldn't have charged 100 setties, for 8 wings. I don't think, like, in a different location.
No, you wouldn't get $6 wings, and those were good. So, Except for the ones we were supposed to get tonight. Those are good too. Have you had Uptown Lounge chicken wings?
I don't think so.
Look, Hassan has, and the lamb chops. It was good. Okay, so overall, I totally get and understand where you're coming from because I kind of went through the same thing on your birthday when we were in Tulum. Like, the other girls they got, I had like a little bit of an appetizer, but they got all this expensive, like multiple drinks and very expensive entrees. I just had my one drink and a very conservative like plate because I was just like, this place is super cute, but I don't want to spend my money here. And then it turned into, oh, let's just split the bill like even. And I'm just like,
I don't even know if I paid.
I was like, hold on. And so I was just like, okay, well, give me another drink if we gonna do it like that, because I wasn't aware. I do feel like with a group of like 10 or more people, it is like, that does get a little confusing and a little hard. And I totally see, I understand where you're coming from, girl, because you're just like, I didn't partake in none of this. Why I gotta pay? But then at the same time, I understand. Ooh, yeah, I do actually. Dolphin just offered me some food, so I might go over there and get some. What time you going to bed? Hold on.
Focus.
Oh, what time you going to bed, baby? Okay. Oh, okay. Look. So on one hand, I totally get it because I've been in that situation before. So it's just kind of like, I don't really like this. I feel like y'all getting over on me. But in the other, and it's just like, okay, this is a section. I'm paying. I'm seeing it as I'm paying to sit, paying to enjoy the ambiance. And yeah, the fact that you did actually was just like, okay, I'm not paying for lodging. I'm not paying for food every other day. I don't have to if I don't have to. And transportation, okay. Here, have a good time. Enjoy. So I definitely get both sides. So I'm sorry that wasn't a great moment for you. But I will say though, observing you in that moment, I did see that you were out of your element because I felt like your anxiety was raised to the highest extreme and you were very unaware of how you were acting. Because I think I told you like in the midst of you like, I gotta tell them I can't pay for this. You were like, you hit me in my face with your purse on your way up. And I was just like, whoa. I'm trying to talk to you. And you just like, I gotta talk to them. And it hit me in my face. And I was just like, does she not see what's going on right now? She just hit me in my face. But I was just like, okay, I'll tell her when she sits back down. I do. So overall, I could tell you were very anxious and very like, okay, this is definitely, not what I was trying to do. And then taking in accountability, like, hey, you're in a different place right now. Life is looking a little different from you. Like, I get it. I understand that. So I'm just saying, yeah, I saw the moment. I was there for the moment. I know it wasn't a great moment, but I'm happy that the conversations that y'all had afterwards, everything was, because, I wasn't there to be a part of none of that. So, because y'all left in a completely different car. But yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even talk in the car. We talked when we got back to the hotel before the second car came up. So I was like, I only talked to you one-on-one for like 5 minutes. But yeah, again, when you and I had I don't want to go back into it, but yes, I understand. I am a passionate person, but we'll work on it. We'll continue to work on it.
Girl, everybody, I'm just saying, I understand because when it comes down to me and I come into moments where I'm not really prepared or I just wasn't feeling myself in that moment, I'm just not myself. And y'all can tell when I'm feeling very awkward, very, all right, my communication is off. Like, it happens to the best of us. So trust me, like, it's okay. It happens to all of us. And, everybody, I'm happy everybody, got over it and got through it. So,
yeah. The only other thing that I would say about like being in Ghana, which did we give him a camp counselor? Okay. Basically, there's this guy that we have seen several times. He's connected to this group, and people were coming up to me being like, oh, so what's going on? What's the vibe? What's the tea? Spill it. I sent something over here. And I was like, oh, girl, listen, I ain't got nothing to say to you. I have no other information. I have no facts to give you. If you sense a vibe, you're picking up on what I'm picking up on, but ain't nothing occurred other than what you are witnessing. So I don't know what you want me to do. I ain't got nothing to say. And, you know, the first day, fine. The second day, fine. The third day, I'm like, what is happening? Why is everybody coming up to me?
Because
and clearly,
he's giving energy.
Clearly, the energy is very palpable. Okay? That's a word. Okay? So, yeah, I enjoyed our conversation about it because I was like, everybody has been talking about this ish. I don't even know how it came up. I know he was on his way to take us to the airport, but like, I was just like, I don't exactly remember how it came up. And I was just like, okay, fine. Let's talk about it. And yeah, I honestly even sent him a DM while we were there, like because we don't have any way to communicate. We don't communicate unless we're literally physically in person. And so like, I sent him a DM after like one of the days of activities and was just like, thanks so much for your hospitality. It's been great. It's been amazing. And he was just like, kept it. He matched that same energy. It was like, I really appreciate y'all being here and me being able to like provide this for y'all and y'all to see my country.
He did such a good job. I just wanted to clap it up for him. Like, honestly, great job. Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, did a phenomenal job. I really do appreciate it. Like, it was great. And we had our own conversations about like what he wants to do and things like that. Because, you know, after y'all went to the airport, like I was leaving the next day. And so instead of like dropping me off at the airport and letting me wait there forever, he was like, we'll go around town. We'll spend some time. We'll kick it. And we basically went to like one of probably the nicest place that we have been to that whole entire trip. We went to this like sky bar, like rooftop. It was very pretty. I was so underdressed. Everybody was slaying their outfits. And I was just like, I'm going to the airport. They almost didn't let us up, but he was like, if you tell them you're going to the airport, they'll let you in because that means you have money to leave here.
Right.
So
right.
He was like, we have a layover. We're just, you know, whatever. That's basically. And so, yeah, we had a nice time. It was cute. It was very much so vibe. I had the best espresso martini of the trip there. And then, of course, I opened my big mouth and I was just like, so everyone's coming up to me. Is anyone coming up to you?
Hell no.
Yeah. He was like, no, that's so interesting. Why don't I want to come up to me? And then I'm like, that's not the point. Do you have feelings for me? Basically, I didn't ask it that outright, but I'm like, there's obviously this vibe and this energy. Everyone else is picking up on it. I've noticed it since day one that we have met, literal. And so I told myself I wasn't going to bring it up, but here I am bringing it up. So what are your thoughts? He was like, gave me some, you know, whatever response, you know, it's like, I got goals, you know, and we all got goals. Tell me something new. Okay, but you got goals. And I just said, cool, because that's not even the most important answer to me. I would have almost been like, we're not sharing the same space, which is what I said to him. I was like, I would understand more that like, you're not really taking it that seriously because we're sharing the same space and it would be long distance and I'm not about that life. And I would be like, I can understand that. But like, you got goals is not a good answer to me. Cause again, we all have goals. Now what? What are you going to do about it? Anyway. And he was just like, I could tell that you're like disappointed by this answer. And then he was like, wait, no, not disappointed. I can tell that you're like very just like unimpressed by this answer. And I was like, yeah,
what about a word?
Factual. It was a much more accurate word, and I really appreciate it. I could tell that he's good with his words.
Sign?
I feel like we had this conversation. Terrible. I'm not going to remember.
Fuck. Do you remember what element?
It's a girl. No, I don't even remember the month. That's why I'm like, I can't even tell you when I was like, I feel like he told me because I feel like I definitely asked. I feel like I definitely asked. I'm going to ask again because guess what? Ever since New Year's, he can't stop texting me. We're not texting, but we are in WhatsApp. Very complimentary, very, you know, same vibes, you know? So it's just been whatever. I keep stumping him with my soul deepening questions. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And he's just like, what? And then he was like, you actually helped me, you know, pick a word for the year and blah, blah, blah. And I got that. I'm just like, oh, okay, great. Thanks. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. So that's that story. And, you know, he could have made the trip a little bit more impressive if I would have saw a thick little man, you know what I'm saying? And we ended up at that Airbnb. There was a moment where he did ask me if I was interested in going to his Airbnb because there was like a really great view. But we had just we just dropped y'all off at the airport, and I'm like, it's like 3 a.m. He's like, it's late. You should get some sleep, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, part of me wants to say yes because, you know, I'm here. But you are correct that honestly, we'd probably get there and I'd probably go to sleep. So
it was late.
That's that. It was. So there's that. That's that.
We're just being extra.
All right, guys. So y'all know we went to Ghana. Great. So it took me and Erlene like maybe a day and a half to get to Ghana. You know why? Because we decided, hey, let's take a 15-hour layover in Morocco. So I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. This is another country we can cross off our list as far as Africa is concerned. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see the things, because I wanted to go to the YSL Museum because that's one of my favorite brands, Saint Laurent. It's a Moroccan brand. Want to go. Okay. So when we look at our itinerary, we're going to be in Casablanca. We're not going to Marrakesh. And Marrakesh is where the actual museum is. And Marrakesh is like the lush area of Morocco. We're not going there. I'm like, fuck. Okay. Should have thought about that. I didn't think about that. Okay. Fine. So now we're going to Morocco. They have us in this airport, Royal Air Morocco. I feel like this is the Spirit Airlines of international flights, because there were so many things that were happening that we were like, what is happening? Okay. All right. So we get on the plane. First off, okay, let's start off in DC. We get to DC. We have like a 12-hour, I'm sorry, you see I'm all over the place because I'm like getting flashbacks. So we go to DC. We meet up with Erica. We go get lunch. Great lunch. So me and Erlene is like, you know what? I'm ready to get a drink. Let's get slapped. We still got a couple more hours before we go to the airline. Our flight isn't taking off till like what? 10 p.m. We have plenty of time. We go to this underground bar in DC. So the next time we're in DC, we want to take you because it was a good little time. It was definitely like series. They gave you like a whole glass of the liquor and a side of juice on the side. Okay, have fun with that. So we're already fucked up. Okay, so we're in the airport, international airport. We're like, oh, this is interesting. This is nice. So we see you off. We go meet you again at the airport. We see you off. We're like, hey, girl, honestly, you probably, no, you had to check your bag. So I was like, you probably could have just rolled with us, but that's okay. So we see you off. Bye. You have a good flight. We're in this other restaurant. We're like texting and stuff like that. And so he texted me. He's just like, hey, what's up? What y'all doing? What's your itinerary? And I'm like, okay, well, we just saw Erica off. So he's just like, well, I'm in the lounge. If y'all trying to come, I'm like, hell yeah, okay. I've never been to the airport lounge, okay? Look, y'all can't introduce me to things of luxury because now my standards are different, okay? Now I'm a new bitch. I already told her that. It's like, you can't do this to me, okay? Because look, now you introduce me to some new shit. I want this shit all the time. We go to the Chase Sapphire Lounge, okay? Ooh, shit. Did I say his name wrong?
You did.
Okay, but don't worry about that shit, girl. Okay? Editor, you do your job, okay? Thank you. Because, oops. camp counselor. Oh shit! See now, I
Can't stand
my bad. All right, you know what?
It has to be bleached now. It has to be. You suck so bad.
Oops, my bad.
Your time is running out. Continue.
No. Okay. So we're like, okay, so we're at the Chase Sapphire Lounge, and I'm just like, oh, we get free food, and food was good, and it's a nice bar area, seating area, lounge area. The drinks were unlimited, free 99. Okay, well, I guess he's paying for it with his card and membership and stuff like that. But hey, I am in it. Okay, first off, we drinking. We over here trying to get as many drinks as we can before our flight takes off, okay? We are like,
but y'all was already lit.
We was already
as
fucked
we
up.
recall.
Because Arlene definitely got a double at the other place we were just at after we left you. At when you took off, literally
Not a
in
double.
in the airport, okay? So
And the one right across the street.
Yeah, we drank, and then I'm texting. I'm like. He like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, yeah, we in the airport. He just like, well, my flight's delayed a couple hours. Y'all trying to hang out? I'm like, hell yeah. In the lounge, okay? You can tell I ain't never had nothing, okay? So, we're just like, okay. I'm like, Early, hurry up. We're trying to go to get some free shit. I ain't trying to pay for none of this. She's like, I already ordered. Fine. So she already ate her little stuff. She had her little yang yang. So we run over there. Rush over there to the lounge. We're like, let me get this cocktail. Okay, we get on the plane. Baby, I don't know when it took off. I don't know when the plane. We missed all our meals. Okay. They said chicken to beef, or whatever. Like, baby, I was gone. We was dead. Pasta chicken, veggie chicken. We were dead sleep. Because when I woke up, they said we had an hour and a half left until we landed. I don't remember shit. We were blacked out.
One of you was.
Just know that something happened on that flight that I was not aware of. I ain't gonna tell that girl story, but just know I was just like, oh, we was fucked up. Okay. So then we ended up going to Morocco. We landed in Morocco. We like, okay.
Tell it in the comments, Arlene. Okay.
So we in Morocco, okay? Arlene going through whatever she going through. I'm like, all right, let's party. We in Morocco. Whoa, this country is very rough, okay? They speak Arabic, so it's very rough as far as their, the way they talk to you. So, and very short with you, very all that stuff. So we're like, okay, 15-hour layover. We are entitled to a room and hotel. We're entitled to a hotel room for free, $99. So it's free. We're in this long ass line. We were literally in line for almost 2 hours just to get our accommodations. We get our accommodations. They could put us on this freaking trolley, this train or something. In this bus, and they take us an hour away from the airport, okay? And then we get to the airport. We get to the location, the hotel. The location, we're like, okay. It's near the beach or whatever. So then they said, give us your passports. We're like, oh, okay. We have to give the passports, and they put us in this room. We don't know what's going on in the room. So they have food for us. They're like, eat. And we just like, okay, we don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. So then they push us in this room. Not push us, but then they put us in this room. We eat. The food was okay because we haven't eaten. We missed all of our meals on the flight. So me and Arlene are starving, okay? So and we end up going to our room. I'm like, okay, at least we could take a shower, maybe take a tour, and we can go back to the airport. Baby, we get to the room. The room was disgusting, mold. It was just not it, okay? The most we did was change our clothes. And when I'm upset, and Arlene is upset, and I understand I'm upset for her, okay? So we end up taking a tour. The taxi driver gave us a tour around, and we had some great, I got some great souvenirs, all that stuff. So he was like, oh, it's going to be $100. We thought it was going to be $25. We were told it's $25, but then after the tour, it was $100. Don't know how that happened. It was per hour. So it wasn't just 25. It was 25 per hour. They failed to tell us that. Okay? Scammed. All right. So he tells us, as soon as we got back to the hotel, he tells us it's $100. And we're like, okay, we don't have that. He made us get back in the car and drove us to the nearest ATM. He's standing over Arlene like, give me that money. And I'm like, back up. Okay. And then she couldn't get it because it's an African like freaking ATM. Okay, it says Bank of Africa. It's not Bank of America. And so he tells us to get back in the car, takes us to a random gas station, and has a guy like, okay, use your card. And we just like, okay, fine, Oh,
My
I guess your
headphone died.
headphones died. Dang. Okay. Is that better? Okay, yes. So we're like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get back. I'm ready to get back to the airport. I am scared. It is after dark. Okay. So we end up getting back to the airport. They said we can't go back till 9:00 because that's when the bus was gonna take us. So we're like, okay. And then they said, you need to go into this room. I'm like, okay. So we go into this room and they prepared dinner for us. Now, all in all, they did everything that they said that they were going to do. It's just the method and delivery that they were doing. It was very harsh and aggressive, and I felt trafficked. So that was my 15-hour layover in Morocco.
Yeah. When I heard that story, I was like, this is wild.
You would have you first off, if you were by yourself, you would have been
in the room. No. I would have stayed at the hotel.
You probably wouldn't even got in the car.
Airport.
No, you probably wouldn't even got in the truck. Because we were just like, so what bus are we getting on? And I'm like, we get on this one bus. We're like, okay. And then they tell us to get off this other bus and take our bags and put it in another bus. And like, you're going in there. And I'm just like, okay. Like,
not separate from my bags.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Mm-mm.
It was a lot. And then even coming back from Ghana, we stayed in the airport because it was only a 5-hour layover. And they gave us a free meal. So honestly, they was hooking it up. I just wasn't a fan of the delivery. I wasn't a fan of how they was going about it. Very shoo, very get your ass in there, eat.
Very like
give me a passport. Like
we have no signage to help explain what is happening.
I was very afraid they were going to lose my bag. And they actually almost lost Erlene's bag, but they didn't. Thank God. Actually, that was United. Never mind. So we got all of our bags. We got all of our stuff. Thank God. We got free lodging. I guess it comes to the ticket. We got our hotel. We got 2 meals. And yeah, there you go. But would I do that airline again? No. I would like to try Emirates next. Or Qatar. Okay. Wait, is it Qatar?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, one of my layovers was just in DC. I did I did Brussels, but that doesn't count. There was a 4-hour layover, not a story. But the story comes with my DC layover. That was the overnight layover. Now, you already know, we in DC, great episode. Go back, listen to it. I need to go to DC to live. And it's not much different this go around either, okay? Because I was going to meet up with Mr. K, and I did. But even like to get to Mr. K, your girl can't just exist. Okay. Like everyone wanted to understand, like, where am I going? Literally 2 people were like, are you going on a date? I was like, I'm meeting up with someone. Yeah. Like, so I was just like, I need to live here so people can actually talk to me and show interest. Okay. But yeah, no, I was with Mr. K, I don't know if the other one got a nickname. Pepe Le Pew. Okay, we were not with Pepe Le Pew. We went with Mr. K, Stability, because I felt like that was going to be more of like a, I don't know, intentional, I'll show you a good time. I'm kind of like...
he seems like he's about what he's talking about. I feel like Pepe Le Pew, very, not genuine. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's not very genuine to me.
I agree. Yeah. So yeah, me and Mr. K, we went around town. Everything was literally closed because it was like a Christmas party for everything. And I'm like, already? But I guess, makes sense. Have your corporate Christmas parties like December 12th instead of like the 20th because no one's coming to your one on the 20th. Okay. So yeah, we couldn't get into like a lot of different places, but that didn't deter us. We went bar hopping and he paid for everything. He told me how, good I looked and how funny I am. And yeah, just like I'm so amazing. And I really, Obviously, duh, appreciate it. So I had a great time with him. He actually ended up staying at my hotel that I had, and we were watching the Just Extra podcast. Because that's what I do to him, okay? After being with me, watch me, okay? Now watch me sleep next to you. Because I feel like I knocked out. I don't recall doing not a single thing once we got to that room, because that last shot got us, which was a good time. But yeah, we went in, we were watching it. He would recalls, because he texted me afterwards. Anyway, in the time, I woke up, and he's just like kissing my body. We didn't actually kiss on the mouth. Not that I remember. But yeah, so he's just kissing my body, making his way down. And, you know, kiss the other pair of lips, okay? And I just let him be down there doing what he was doing, and it was fine. I started to enjoy it towards the end, which is always like the case. Like, I usually start enjoying it more towards the end. But that was it. We didn't do anything else. I just received some oral stimulation, and he went to work. So then I went and met up with y'all for lunch. And yeah, that was literally like my DC experience. We have also been texting since I have left DC, you know, a little this, a little that, you know, just keeping my options open at this point in time. So yeah, that's what I got to tell y'all.
Well, hey, you had a date and I got kidnapped. So that's always fun.
Potentially, yeah.
Child, you would have told me that all shit was going to happen. It was just the way it happened. They were very honest. It was just too much. Okay? It's too much. All right, you guys, for this week's Am I Being Extra, we have a letter. Hey team, I need your take on this. My parents are super loving, but they were always really overprotective. Growing up, I wasn't allowed to go to sleepovers, join sports teams, or even walk to school alone. They said it was because they wanted to keep me safe. But now, as an adult, I struggle with anxiety and feel paralyzed in situations where I have to make decisions for myself or take risks. I know they were just trying to protect me, but I don't want to seem ungrateful for how much they cared. But I can't ignore their choices have made life harder for me now. Maybe I just can't read, y'all. I've started to bring up in this conversation, but they act like I'm blaming them for all my problems, which isn't my goal. Am I just being extra for wanting to address this and find some type of closure? Okay. I was like, oh, maybe I can't read, y'all. You can leave that, though. How was that? Is that okay? Or should I read it again?
Great. Yeah, we're going to continue. So basically, I feel like I can kind of relate to this as somebody who like didn't get to do a lot of extracurricular activities growing up. My parents didn't trust a lot of people, which as an adult, like makes a lot of sense now. So I think, you know, first and foremost, I would just recommend that you have some compassion maybe for your parents and the decisions that they made, because they did the best with what they had. And I'm sure, you know, technology has enhanced, you know, our abilities to feel a little bit more comfortable with letting our kids like go and do, right? Like we have phones, like mobile phones, like people are getting them younger and younger. You can dial, you know, make it so that you can only dial me and like 911 and like, you know, whatever, your parent, your whoever, right? But like back in the day, it wasn't like that. Like they only knew you were gone when you didn't come home, you know, like there wasn't a lot of like measures to make sure or like ease their mind about what could happen to you. So I think it was easier back in the day to like keep you inside. Now, I mean, in regards to like joining sports teams or doing some like extracurricular activities from like that perspective that are like associated with like even things that could help you get into a good school, you know, a little bit of socialization from like that perspective, discipline, like whatever. I think like it's unfortunate that there were things that you weren't able to do, but you're an adult now and you can now, you know, put yourself in the activities that you would like and heal your inner child by like offering yourself the ability to do some of these activities that maybe like you weren't able to do as a child. So, I mean, I definitely think that you're not being extra for wanting to address it with them, but I think you should first kind of think about what kind of grace you can, give them to help make it seem like you're not attacking them, and then they'll be able to receive the information maybe a little better. That's what I have initially. Jacqueline?
Honestly, I'm surprised that you have this going on, but at the same time, I'm not, because on the other side of the spectrum, when you've had overprotective or overbearing parents, you become a sneaky person. I'm going to say for me, there was a lot of things I couldn't do. So you just snuck out, you just lied, you just did what you have to do to gain your independence some other way. But in that sense, your parents kind of don't trust you. It's fine. Well, not really fine, but that's just the other consequence of, having parents that are overprotective. I'll say this. Start slow. Make decisions. Make smaller decisions and work your way up. Try going to lunch by yourself. Try going to public places where you don't have to look like you're alone, Just take it slow and just small increments at a time. Don't go to a whole festival by yourself. That's just too much. That's overwhelming. Start by taking yourself out to eat. Maybe going to get a coffee, maybe sitting down, maybe going to a market, farmer's market, walking around. Set a time for yourself. Make sure somebody knows where you are. And as far as making other decisions in life, again, start off slow, start off small, bite-sized. And then before you know it, you're making a whole life for yourself. Where do you want to see yourself? And, the list and the things will come, with that vision. So it's okay. Just know it's okay. A lot of us have gone through it, especially girls and families. But at the end of the day, you're in charge now. So take charge.
Yeah, I think also just like bringing it back to like your parents and how like you're trying to have conversations with them on how like this has all impacted them. Sometimes even like what is helpful is talking to them about like their experience as a child and like the relationship that they had with their parents. Like I'm starting to ask my dad now about like his relationship with his parents, to be like, oh, did you like that? How did you feel about that? What do you want to do today as an adult to make yourself like feel better about that situation? And I feel like, they're not always receptive at first. And this is like one of my first conversations with him, trying to like dig in a little bit like that. But I think like when you put your parents in a place to reflect on their relationship with their parents, I think that it opens their mind to at least being aware that like, oh, not all parents are perfect. And yes, children, are going to maybe have some concerns and still love their parents, right? They may have issues with the way that they were parented as a child and still love and respect their parents, right? And so I think sometimes, if you can put them in that place, they'll be able to like turn their perspective to like themselves and like also be able to like apply it to how you might be feeling, and it might be easier for them to receive it. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
I think yeah, just like, I'm just trying to, as much as I'm like, you're valid to feel this way and like have gotten to this space. If you truly want to bring this up to your parents and inform them of how their parenting has influenced you, I think that like you have to understand, like give them grace. And then, and at least for your first conversation, because this is going to take multiple conversations. They're not just like going to receive it the first time. Obviously, I know. And so like I just think that like, if you can maybe have them think of like, how do you feel about your experience as a child? And like, do you feel like there could have been improvements? Okay, great. But you thought they did what they could. Cool. I feel the same way as it relates to like this particular concern that I have. Like, I think you did the best or whatever, but like, this is what that now means for me. Do you see how that like parenting impacts how you are? Then yes, obviously your parenting is going to impact how I am. So maybe that'll help it be easier for them to understand.
I think just to wrap it in a nice bow, I know I talked more so about how you can address it for yourself, but I guess what I'm getting at is I just know how a lot of parents are. They just don't see the fault in what they're doing. And so I can tell that you want them to take some form of accountability so you can heal, but be prepared if they don't want to take any accountability, because at the end of the day, they quote unquote tried their best. And so what you can do to find some closure for you is to, heal that baby inside of you, because, you talk about, the development milestones in children, and autonomy is a second stage. It starts from when you're 2 to 4. You want that autonomy to talk for yourself, to speak for yourself. This is when babies say no. And, you want that ability to do for yourself. I'll say take a moment. If they're not open to conversation, which more than likely they probably aren't, but if they do, great. But if they're not, take that moment to baby yourself, because you're allowed to. That's it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if you have advice that you would like our opinion on, feel free to send us an email at justextrapodcast@gmail.com. You can send us a DM because we are on socials. We have an Instagram and a TikTok for now. And that is justextra_podcast. You can follow Jackie on Instagram at all things J. J is spelled out, Jay. I'm on Instagram, your girl Erica, at Erica_stay ready. And we have Hassan, our producer here, at Mr. Forbes, and dot is spelled out DOT. So that's where you can find us. Re-listen to all of our episodes. We're on Spotify. Like all of our episodes on Spotify. Rate us 5 stars. Like all of our episodes on YouTube. Comment, engage with us, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Bye.